Hey, what's up? This is Alien Isolation here. You've probably noticed behind me an empty clothes rail. In front of me, I've got a lot of jackets. They really are everywhere, and that is because today we are going to rate every single thing in my collection. We're going to do this via my highly scientific top 10 system. So we've got 10 hangers back there. We're going to put 10 jackets on it, the first 10, and then every subsequent one is going to be like a fight to the death. Is it going to knock off something on there? Does it deserve a spot in the top 10? And then we'll end up, at the end, the definitive top 10 jackets of everything, and therefore a #1 ranking. So we might as well get started. The first one I've picked up is the Arc'teryx Atom LT. You've probably seen this in quite a few videos before. We did an Arc'teryx video a couple of weeks ago, that's probably why it's ended up near the top. Yeah, big workhorse jacket, wear this a lot as a mid layer, keeps me warm a lot of the time underneath some other stuff. So yeah, big fan of this one, it's got a lot of wear. I guess one should be there, probably. This gets the #1 spot by default. Next we have the Acronym J44-SD. Bit of a weird one this, cotton Stotts face fabric, but it's got this kind of backing comfy stuff to it as well. That makes it extremely heavy, and it's quite an unusual jacket for that reason as well. It's also a little bit big for me, I've got a size large in this, probably could have done with a medium, but with some nice big pants, kind of balances it out. So yeah, a bit of an unusual one, I like it for that reason. But yeah, it's probably not my favourite, so this is going in #2 for now. Veilance IS SL, it's another unusual face fabric with this one. Not to everyone's taste, it does have that slight sheen to it, but it's also very comfortable to wear, lightly insulated as well, so it makes a nice kind of casual piece, and yeah, quite interesting. It's got a nice colour as well, so I like that. Very expensive retail though, unfortunately, but I did see this go on sale in a couple of places. So yeah, potentially cool pickup there. That's going at #2 for now, just because I think it fits a lot better than the J44 does, and it's quite different to everything else I've got. Nemen Zephyr, the purple dipping jacket. I absolutely love this. I think the gradient is so cool. The material is kind of okay as well. It's not obviously as water resistant as Gore-Tex or whatever, but it's not uncomfortable to wear either. Got a little jacket sling. I think it's got quite a lot going for it. I also got this for an absolute steal. This was like 260 euros or something like that. And yeah, I mean, you'd really struggle to find such a cool and such a unique piece at a lower price than that brand new. So yeah, this is a real winner for me. A couple of Enfin Leve things have the Esekita bomber here, cotton Stotts face fabric, also insulated as well. Real comfy, super wearable too. You can just chuck this on pretty much any situation. It's kind of warm. It's maybe not as exciting as some of the other jackets, but yeah, I do quite like this, and something I've worn a fair bit. The Lehor shirt jacket as well, another super easy to wear one, but it's got this nice cool pocket on the front here, and this little doubled up kind of thing with the Cobrax buckles. The sleeves are a little bit long, that's probably the only thing I would say against it, but aside from that, yeah, very wearable, comfy piece. You can just chuck this on every day, kind of similar to the bomber in that respect, but much lighter weight. The only reason I'm not putting this stuff up there at the top is just because it's not quite as exciting as some of those other things, but in terms of wearability and how much use I've got out of them, I'd actually rank these pretty high. Arc'teryx Atom AR hoodie, very similar obviously to the Atom LT. I did this in the Arc'teryx video a couple of weeks ago. Like it a lot, just not worn it as much as the LT, so I'm not going to put this as high up. But yeah, it's a very similar product, just this one's more insulated. Now we got a bit of a weird one. It's the Y3 Poncho Sailcloth jacket thing. This is almost floor length, it is crazy long. I have almost never worn this, and yet I love it so much. It feels so nice. It's got this real like soft, silky kind of feel to it. It just looks so different as well. It's really flowy. It has this little bag belt thing that came with it as well, but I just think it's so cool. I just kind of have to love it. I've maybe put that too high for something I basically never wear, but we can have some weird stuff in the rail, it's fine. 11 by BBS Reversible Bomber. I got this for a bit of a steal off a Jawn Flip. I really like how it's got the green on the inside, which obviously you can turn into the outside if you want, giving you a couple of distinct looks there. I kind of prefer the overall shape of the Esekita bomber, so I think that's my kind of go-to for this style of jacket, but I do still like this one a lot as well. Cloudburst Raway jacket. There's a lot of interesting and slightly unusual features here. You've got quite a few transparent elements, like you can put your smartphone in the sleeve and then you can kind of see through it. I did review this a while back. I felt that not all of those features worked super well, and it's an okay looking jacket overall, but it's definitely not really one that I would go to, especially when compared to quite a lot of the other things here. So I think this one is going at the bottom now, not because it's bad, it's just it doesn't quite measure up to the others for me. Alright, we've got our 10, so time to start knocking stuff off. And the first one to do that is the Veilance Conduit LT. Great mid-layer, very nice warmth to weight ratio. I don't think it's the best looking jacket in the world, but it is quite clean at least, and it's more flattering than your average kind of puffy jacket like this. So I'm gonna put this in at number 10, I think, for now. Yeah, I think that's fair. Next to the Outlier Shelter from the Storm, I've actually worn this a surprising amount just because it is super easy to chuck on. It's very wearable too. It's got a relatively sort of plain understated design by itself, but it's got a few nice little features in there. The face fabric I find really comfortable too, but still has a decent level of water resistance. You know, you don't need Gore-Tex all the time. Stuff like this can actually do a fine job. So I think this is kind of an underrated jacket overall. And maybe I've not talked about it as much as I could have done, but yeah, I actually like this one quite a lot, so this is definitely going in here. Ice cream time, the Nikelab ACG Deploy, the pink and white one in particular. I love this. I think this is super cool. I bought this half price, I think, on end, so it was like £250 or something. I honestly think it was a bit of a steal for that price. It's a very feature-rich jacket. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can mess around with, and it looks so distinctive. I think the pink and white colour is great, honestly. It took a bit of time to grow on me, I'm not going to lie, and it's certainly an attention-grabbing look. Definitely not one if you want to go under the radar. It's got a bit of an unusual cut as well. It's quite wide and it's a little bit shorter than many jackets, so it's more a spring-summer kind of thing than like a super protective winter garment. But yeah, I think this is great, personally. I'm doing it. I'm putting it all the way up here. Before anyone kicks off about my controversial decisions, this is just my opinion on stuff that I like to wear and think is cool. I'm definitely not trying to do objective tier list of what is good and what is not good tech wear jackets, because yeah, it would look different if that was the case. But no, this is just stuff that I think is cool, alright? Outlier Ecstasy in the Rain. This is quite similar to the Shelter from the Storm in a lot of ways. Similar kind of low-key vibe. I don't like the material as much on this one though. It's more a kind of standard nylon type thing as opposed to the Polartec Neoshell. So I think it loses something that made it a little bit distinctive and a bit unique before. So I'm not going to stick this one on the rail. The Alpine. We did a video about this about a month or so ago now. As you guys know, this is a jacket that I love. I've worn it in so many different pictures. I definitely don't think it's perfect though. It certainly does have a few flaws to it. It's also, is this overhyped, overworn by this point? Maybe, but I still like it a lot, so I think it definitely deserves a place up there. And if nothing else, I feel like this is one of the ones that really kick-started my enjoyment of this kind of style. So I think, you know, it's got a place in my personal lore for that reason. So I can't disrespect it too much. It's got to go up there somewhere. I had to put it in there at number 2 just because of how formative it's been and just how much wear I've got out of it. And is it a better jacket than the Deploy? Yeah, it kind of is. The Stone Island Thermosensitive jacket, another Jawn Flip steel. I really love the colour of this. It's so cool, and once you get it in hand and you can really see the nature of that thermoreactive element in here and how it really does kind of change to body temperature, I think that will really help sell you on it for sure. Zips into a vest as well. Not that that's particularly useful. Not the most versatile thing either. You know, it doesn't have a hood. Tends to look best, I think, with just all black everything else. But yeah, just looking at this kind of by itself, I just love how it looks, so it's got to go up there. Another one from the Arc'teryx video a couple of weeks ago, the Atom SL. I think actually now I've worn this a little bit, I prefer it a little bit to the hoodie, so it's going to take its place at the end. Can't actually remember the name of this one. It's the Helikon jacket that I purchased for the sort of affordable techwear outfit video, talking about some different military stuff. I thought this was quite a good option for the price. It was like $120, I think. It kind of looks okay, but I think I just have so many other jackets that do a similar thing to this better. It's not really something that I'm going to put up on the rail. Dxmlife bomber jacket. This was the thing that I liked most out of that Dxmlife collection. But yeah, I'm not massive on the kind of big Japanese text on the back and things like that. I prefer the Esekita bomber far more to this one. So yeah, not making the rail, unfortunately. The HAMCUS Manta Parka is definitely one of my coolest looking jackets. Everything feels like it's turned up to 11, from the overall fit, to that nice garment dyed colour, to all the crazy stuff you can do with it, like turning those panels into a face mask or using it to extend the jacket. I really think some of my coolest looks and most interesting looks have been with this, so this definitely deserves a place high up on it. It is going to lose points for being incredibly difficult to hang up though. The only reason I'm not putting that higher is just because it is so outlandish, obviously. It loses that everyday wearable appeal, which I feel that the top two jackets still have to some extent. So yeah, not quite making it, but I do definitely love it. CP Company Nyfoil goggle jacket. I actually think this looks really cool. The only problem is that it's too big for me, so I never wear it. If this was a size smaller, maybe even 2 sizes smaller, this would definitely be making the cut. But yeah, in its current state, I just can't get any wear out of it, so I can't really put it up there. This KRAKATAU snorkel jacket, they sent this to me so I could do some video content for their social media channels. I like the colour, I think that part of it is really cool, very warm as well. It also has some interesting functionality, what with the jacket sling. You've got this like 3-way entry pocket on the chest as well, although the downside with that is it makes the jacket look super bulky around the stomach, so not a particularly flattering thing, I think. So yeah, not something that I'm going to put on the rail. North Face Gore-Tex Mountain Parka. I think the colour of this is great. It's this slightly creamy off-white kind of thing. This is one of the last ranges of Gore-Tex things that North Face made as well, because soon after this they swapped to using their own proprietary materials. So it's kind of an interesting thing for that reason. I think it looks decent. It's not quite as cool as many of my other jackets though. I find myself not wearing it a huge amount for that reason. So I'd honestly put this at like number 11, so like it doesn't quite make what's on there now, I think, but I still do like it. Arc'teryx Beta LT, not a huge amount to say about this, other than that it's a great jacket. I've worn it a load already. I'm gonna wear it a load more. This is for me now the kind of go-to regular black jacket, so it's gonna have to knock something off. Don't really know if this one counts as a jacket, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. The Acronym CP4, the cape. This was my first like top half acronym piece, I think, which is a pretty unusual one, to be honest. It's not the most usable thing in the world, it being a sort of poncho cape thing, does cover the arms. I love some of the functionality here though, from the storm hood, which works really well, that kind of changeable nature as well, you can take that off. It's got a reverse escape zip as well, which I think is the only acronym thing to have that. And it looks pretty cool as well, there's no denying that. Although, I just think from a usability perspective, does it deserve to knock off the J44? I mean, I'd probably pick that over this, so it can't go on. But it is cool, it is cool. Rosen-X Anorak, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's based on a vintage Nike ACG piece, which is where this sort of cool collar thing comes from, which I think is quite nice looking, and it's quite interesting, makes this look a little bit different to your average Anorak. The arms are unfortunately too long on this. It was sort of custom made to my measurements, but I guess I just measured my arms incorrectly because, yeah, this came up quite a bit longer than I would have liked. So, yeah, I don't really wear this for partly that reason. So, yeah, it's not going to make the rail, unfortunately. Oclick Kung Fu jacket. This is definitely one of the better affordable techwear pieces that we've talked about on this channel. It has some unique elements to it, like these kind of knotted fastenings on the front here. It comes up a little bit small, even though this is a size large, the arms are still pretty short on me. So it's not the most flattering jacket on me, just because of my overall height and stature, but it's got a nice comfy soft shell material. It feels kind of decently constructed for the money as well, so yeah, I wouldn't not recommend it to other people, but I'm not going to put it on the rail. Coming in towards the end now, the Acronym J1A-GTKP. You guys know how much I like this jacket. Felt like a real milestone when I finally picked this up after however many years of talking about all these technical fashion things. This really feels like, in a lot of ways, the pinnacle of that. It is just so feature rich. There's so many cool things on this. And it being a particular variant as well, this unique version, the Death Stranding collab, giving it that very unusual color scheme, which is certainly not to everyone's taste, but I like it. I like how unique and distinctive it is. It has a little bit of everything for me, so I think it's got to be number one. It's got to be. The original affordable jacket, the Uniqlo Blocktech jacket. Yeah, a lot of fond memories of this. This was at one time my main jacket, coming in at like under $100, I think. Great affordable piece. Yeah, it still holds a bit of a place in my heart for that reason. This was one of the things that helped really kick the channel off as well, talking about this jacket. I don't really wear it very much anymore. It's pretty light on features, and there's just so much else that we've talked about already that in many ways is better than this. I can't really put it on the rail, but yeah, great entry-level thing, I think. And now the absolute final one, the Gorilla Group. I think this was the JJ04. It came out quite a few years ago. This was one of the very first things that a company sent me to review. So yeah, I was super hyped about that for that reason. And even now, this is still something that I wear. Even though it's quite oversized, it's quite a bit bigger than a lot of my other jackets, so fits kind of unusually. I think the color pattern is great. I think having, yeah, these asymmetrical elements is really cool. I don't mind the text on the back too much. Some people think that kind of thing is cringy, but because it is actually a Taiwanese brand, it makes a lot more sense. And it being $400 when it came out as well means it's far from the most expensive jacket here, but I still think offers you quite a lot. So kind of struggling as to whether I put this in at number 10 though. The Veilance IS SL, it's much more refined, it's a bit more different to the other things I've got. The Gore-Tex Infinium material as well is so different to anything else, whereas this is, you know, in many ways quite similar to other things that I own, but Can we have a joint number 10? I'm going to have to make it honorary number 11 because I think we need a bit of variety in the top 10, and this is kind of offering some different stuff, I think. But yeah, I do still wear this a lot, and it's a jacket that I really like, so definitely one that I would recommend. And there we have the official top 10. They fought off all the other jackets just to be here. In at number 10, the Veilance IS SL. Number 9, we have the Y3 Sailcloth Poncho. Number 8 is the Acronym LT. 7, the Nikelab ACG Deploy. 6, the Stone Island Thermosensitive jacket. 5, the Arc'teryx Beta LT. Number 4, the HAMCUS Manta Parka. So that means our official top 3 is the Nikelab ACG Alpine in at number 3. At number 2, the Nemen Zephyr jacket, the purple dipped one. And of course, it's gotta be number 1, the Acronym J1A-GTKP. Round of applause to the top 10, commiserations to the others. I honestly think though that pretty much every jacket here is pretty solid and something that definitely has some good qualities behind it. I have thinned out quite a few of the older jackets, so the ones that I've got remaining, even if they're not the top 10, they still have something that I like about them. And with that, the highly unofficial, highly subjective top 10 list is complete. Is there anything that you would do differently though? I'm sure some people are going to be a little bit upset that I didn't put all the Acronym jackets in the top 10, but I just got to go based on the things that I'm wearing and that I'm enjoying the most at the moment. So if you think I did a terrible job ranking these and I've underrated or overrated a bunch of them, definitely let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like because it is super appreciated. Maybe I'll do a follow-up where I go through all of the pants in the pant collection or something. Let me know if you want to see that, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week with another video. Shout out to Ben Vincent, that is possibly the nicest comment that anyone has ever written, so yeah, thanks for that. That's exactly why I do this kind of stuff, so I'm really glad that you enjoy it. And shout out to Xavier Phillips, I've definitely been called worse in the past, so I'll take that. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you want to see more, there's going to be links going up at the top, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then definitely consider doing so, because we've got hot, new, technical fashion content coming out every single week. Boom, you're going to love it.